Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the back, and he's out of the backfield. And Mahomes will shovel. It's deflected and incomplete. Should be an incomplete pass. Mahomes.
Great way to defend this. This is like a volleyball shot here. Look at, you're going to see in the middle, TJ Slayton not knock it down. He knocked it up, and they had a chance.
From the 25, this is Boyd. That's behind the line of scrimmage. He's looking to throw, and he throws a pick. Intercepted by Josh Allen.
Whether he just doesn't see it or not, but if there's any confusion whatsoever.
Let's see Myles Garrett on this rush here. Oh, their helmets got caught.
Against Tennessee, second most to the NFL. Levis hit as he throws, and it's, for the moment, a loose football. Julian Blackmon had it.
Will Levis drops back to pass. His arm gets hit, so is the ball loose? Or did he push it forward? To me, that looks like a forward pass. Now, the question then becomes, is it an interception by Julian Blackmon? We have Gene Steratore here to give us some clarity. Gene, what are you thinking? What do you see?
I'm going to do my best.
Nobody knows either. I want you to watch. Derek Carr doesn't know. Oh, my goodness. How unfortunate is that?
Wow. James Hurst pulling from left guard. And I said Pascal had the recovery.
And here they go for a first down and a lot more. Pollard.
Good call on man coverage on 4th and short, and instead of...
But this is great effort. I mean, excellent pass rush. And just to get a hand on that football to get it out, I don't know if that's a fumble.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to take a look at.
37. Well, it looks on coming away from center. You can see Murray gets stepped on. And instead of going down with the football, he tries flipping it up to Connor. Froholt steps on his foot. Connor doesn't get the ball.
Pocket, two hands on the ball there. You talk about the fumbles from that Thursday game, and finds David Montgomery out for the first down.
And it was a low snap at that.
Well, earlier in the game, they had a problem with the shotgun snap as well. And this time, Trubisky not able to come up with it.
Football with him, too. Here's Hubbard again. Hubbard's got some daylight, and he slipped down near the 25-yard line.
Run through untouched and get into that second level.
Drew up Ryan Neal, who plays safety.
And the punting it out there for Pittsburgh.
Well, it's hard to handle the blitz anyway, but then when you put it on the ground, you give yourself zero chance. You can see it looks like it.
I mean, no doubt. I mean, that should be an easy catch. He just lets it get right through his gloves. It is wet. I'm not trying to make excuses for any of these wide receivers.
Just to give his rookie a chance.
There's not a lot you can say about this one. Again, this one hurts because you can't ask for a better football from Justin Herbert on 3rd and long.
No gain there.
He sold that one pretty good. This play call by Kyle Shanahan. Look at the official. He's like, hey, man, you ain't.
Everywhere but down the field. So if you're going to look anywhere but down the field, you're clearly not throwing the ball anymore. Put two hands on it. If you have man coverage on the outside, why are you not throwing to Garrett Wilson?
As we've heard him all day, Minshew, quick pass, Downs, runs into his own man.
Forcing Downs to adjust away from him, which forced him into his own tackle. Great play by the linebacker.
Parker. Well, I think Asante Samuel, his hand almost matches Parker's hand right on it. It's almost as if that football hit both of their hands simultaneously.
A fake. Hurts. Tell A.J. Brown to go back the other side. Now he's in trouble. He slips and it's a big sack.
You see him. He's saying run to the left. But no one, and then he just loses his footing, and that's about as easy as sack.
These edge rushers have to contain Bryce so he can't roll out.
Final play of the half. Man, that's going to go out of bounds by a wide margin.
That was an intentional play to throw the ball out of bounds. That's about as conservative as you can be.
Go ahead and launch, because even if I get caught, and right there, he might have been into him just a tad early. Watch right here. And the officials determined that he was going up
didn't get there early. I think that he did.
That would have been a waste of a play. Just talked about Trevor Siemian understanding who he should go to. That was a poor decision by Siemian.
Didi telling us it's starting to rain a little bit harder now down on the field. How does that affect Zappi? Puts his back into it. He has a man wide open, and it's incomplete. And it's certainly a tougher play looking up into the rain.
Yeah.
He's going to be running. His ball security is non-existent right now, so it gets forced out. And then watch what he does. Bam! Swipe it out of bounds. Smart play. Heads-up play.
Slips out. Watch as he makes this little jump cut, and then the ball just kind of slips out of his hand. I don't really think.
In college at Memphis, he would line up first 2 years as a receiver. That just shocking.
Looking downfield, first play, coverage tight, and so he checks it down. It's intercepted off of Jawan Johnson's hands into those of Brian Branch.
Thing is going the other direction. And just a great job by Brian Branch right there. Hand to eye, just scoops that with one hand and brings it in.
Brian Branch, who had his first interception.
Stonehouse punting for the 5th time today. And that one's blocked. The Colts got it. Scooped up by Stewart. Touchdown!
In this replay, he's number 20 here. He just cuts right underneath the edge blocker. That's as easy as a block as you'll get. He almost took it off his foot. Stewart scoops and scores. Can barely see his name, but we're telling you because of his hair. But special teams coming up huge for the Indianapolis Colts today.
John Robinson in the backfield. Ball on the ground. Shannon talked about the elements, the rain. Falcons practiced outdoors. Ritter able to recover.
All right. Yeah, it just slipped out of his hands. Drew Dahlman is the center, and he got it up to the quarterback's hands. Desmond Ritter.
A little extra there at the end by the rookie Paris Johnson Jr. and T.J. Watt as the play continues.
And then you see Cashman. See him? He's just shadowing him.
The Tennessee Titans coming after Gardner Minshew.
Really assaulting the center.
Jet sweep. Wilson fading. Wilson has to throw it away. Will Anderson Jr.
It's in more of the speed, field guy in the passing game. Trey Sermon more of the pounder. And right here you've got the check down. It just goes off the top of the hands. Not a very good throw from Gardner Minshew, putting him in a tough spot.
Minshew rolling right, throws it back, and it's picked off. Going the other way is Amani Hooker. And Hooker is going to go the distance.
Here's Chase again, looking like he might throw. And he throws back to Browning, and Browning is brought to the ground by Chason.
Watch number 0. See him get right into the face of C.J. Stroud when he comes out on the boot. And because he's able to get a hand up, Stroud has to kind of loft the ball a little bit more.
AZ comes over the top. Oh, he should have caught that right in his hands. You know, I wonder, yeah, it's just whether or not he saw the ball. It looks like he does, but then his helmet gets moved.
And 2 tight ends. They get into a quick little naked out of it. And Amari Cooper, you see, he had it for a second, took his eyes off of it, and started to look at the defense. Unable to complete it.
Tabled that. Off the play fake, Young. He's under pressure. That's going to be a lateral, I think, anyway. And it's going to go out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Nope, they're going to call it an incomplete pass.
See that pump fake right there?
Foot kind of got stuck for Tyreek Hill there as he came out of the backfield that time.
Initially had him open right off the bat. It's just Khaleke Hudson.